This is every single child YouTuber that once had absolutely everything, but as they grew up, they would go on to lose it all. Starting with Brooke Houts. Brooke Houts was a lifestyle vlogger with over 300,000 subscribers. She was known for posting her day-to-day life on YouTube, and her fans loved it. Her content included pranks on her family and letting her dog go through her closet. Until summer of 2019, when a complete accident would ruin her reputation for good. She had uploaded an unedited prank video on her Doberman that showed her shouting at, smacking, and even appearing to spit on her dog. She tried to frame it as a harmless joke with plastic wrap on the door, but everyone that had already seen it was horrified at the raw footage.
Well, as you can tell, stop! We love you.
Brooke then almost immediately took down the video and deactivated her Instagram within a matter of minutes. Brooke would publicly apologize when taking to Twitter, as she would write, "On the day in particular that the video was filmed, things in my outside life have been less than exceptional. I am not going to play the victim card or anything of that sort, but I do want to point out that I am rarely as upset as what was shown in the footage. The bubbly, happy-go-lucky Brooke that you often see in my videos is typically an accurate representation of me, but it's obvious that I'm playing up my mood in this video when I'm clearly actually frustrated. I want to clarify that I am not a dog abuser or animal abuser in any way, shape, or form. My dog was not hurt by any action that I displayed in this video. But this wasn't the end of the situation. The LAPD's Animal Cruelty Task Force opened an investigation into Brooke's actions. Ultimately, in the end, no charges were filed. However, the scandal had wrecked her online presence. Every video she posted would be heavily disliked by everyone, and each comment would never let her forget what she did to her dog. She deleted all of her content and quickly vanished from YouTube, with no other presence remaining online. Daddy05. Mike and Heather Martin started Daddy05 as a family prank channel, racking up millions of views from primarily focusing on kids' content. At first, it looked like nothing more than harmless fun. In one viral clip, Mike, the father, sprayed disappearing ink in one of the kids' bedroom, then would go on to absolutely scold his son for the mess as if he had made it himself, before revealing it was simply a prank. Unfortunately, viewers did not find these videos as entertaining as Daddy05 had hoped. As shown in the video, the kid has a complete breakdown on camera.
What did you do?
What the? I didn't do that!
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
What is this?
Cody!
Tell me!
I didn't do that!
Tell me what you did!
I swear to God, I didn't do that!
Cody!
All over your
I
carpet!
didn't do that! I don't have anything to color with it!
Why did you do that?
You ruined the carpet! Get out of here! Mind your
I didn't
business!
do that! Mom and Dad, I didn't
Oh
do
my
it!
God! Oh my God!
Do you know how much that...
I didn't do that!
More of their videos shows the parents encouraging siblings to each other and even misleading their youngest son into thinking he'd been adopted. In a separate video, Mike instructed his children to slap his daughter in the face, which obviously prompted concern from other YouTubers. The fact that a parent would say to themselves, "It's okay for me to film my son slapping my daughter and put it up on the internet where she's crying," with one YouTube commenter stating, "After I saw that clip today, those parents need to be in jail." On the 2nd of May 2017, a BBC article was released titled "Daddy-O5 Parents Lose Custody Over YouTube Pranks." A father and stepmother in the US lost custody of 2 of their 5 children after playing pranks on them in a series of YouTube videos. Mike and Heather Martin denied the videos were abusive and claimed they were fake, but the authorities intervened anyway. Child Protective Services opened an investigation, and by 2018, Mike and Heather were convicted of child neglect. The parents then received 5 years probation and were found guilty for treatment of children in videos. Their original channel, with over 700,000 subscribers, was permanently banned by YouTube, and they lost custody of 2 of their children after their conviction. Even worse, they then briefly rebranded as Family-O5, trying to make a new name for themselves before quitting off of YouTube in its entirety. Danielle Cohn. Danielle Cohn skyrocketed to fame in 2016 on Musical.ly, with short but fast lip-syncing videos. By 2020, she had over 18 million TikTok followers and 1.8 million subscribers on YouTube. She and her mother moved to Los Angeles so that Danielle could pursue a singing career, which originally looked like it was going to be successful. She released a single called Marilyn Monroe that has over 15 million views. However, with one look at the like to dislike ratio, it's pretty clear that something went extremely wrong. There were reports all online that fans frequently questioned Danielle's well-being and even her age. As well as this, the family's portrayal of Danielle was often highly sexualized, even while being as young as 11 and 12 years old. The controversy turned a lot more serious in 2020. A leaked audio recording revealed that Danielle had secretly had an abortion earlier that year, at roughly 13 or 14 years old. In the tape, her own mother Jennifer is heard saying, "I allowed you to have an abortion. It allowed you to be the person you've become."
Do this at this age. I'm letting you do that. I allowed you to have an abortion. And this is all the shit that they're saying on there. I allowed so much that I shouldn't have allowed. And it's allowed you to be the person you become and just think it's okay to act the way you can towards me. We don't have a relationship.
Can I talk? Just really quick.
Danielle responded by uploading a 31-minute YouTube video titled "The Truth About My Abortion," where she confirmed the audio was real and said that the pregnancy had happened under manipulation. All of her viewers were shocked, but supportive at the same time. This poor girl was bullied into telling a story that wasn't for anyone but herself. Social media is so ugly, I feel for her. In hindsight, it turned out that her personal life was being dictated by adults, forcing her to share whatever they wanted her to share online. While Danielle's channel is still up and running to this day, she's lost over 200,000 subscribers. It's evident that it's nowhere near as active as it used to be. Clearly, her mental health has been permanently damaged, as well as her reputation is still mixed. Some fans are thanking her for being straightforward about the abortion, while others still believe that her parents control her life. Lil Tay. Lil Tay exploded onto YouTube in 2017 at just 9 years old. In fast-paced action and highly profanity-filled videos, she had proudly called herself the youngest flexer of the century.
Bitch, I'm richer than all y'all broke ass. 30 on my wrist.
Flashing large amounts of cash and cursing at viewers. Initially, people were obsessed by the insane scene Lil Tay was. A literal kid bragging about having millions, throwing money from luxury cars, and even starting beef with other celebrities. But it didn't take long for Lil Tay's flaws to be released. Journalists started asking tough questions about who was really behind her persona. Clips online began surfacing of her older brother feeding her lines on set, which only grew suspicions that she was nothing more than a puppet.
Shit cost me 10,000 and
I said stop saying 10,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,500.
Lil Tay be popping on YouTube right now.
You're gonna be like more ignorant.
What do I say?
Even her mother, who is a real estate agent, was accused of using her colleagues' personal belongings as video sets. During one shoot, her mother used her boss's car for a backdrop and ended up getting fired as a result. By mid-2018, Lil Tay had vanished. Her YouTube and Instagram were wiped clean, but this didn't take the heat away from the adults in her life. They were now in open conflict as her divorced parents and managers had clashing visions for her career. Her dad and original team wanted her to be a singer, while her mother and brother insisted on keeping the gangster flex image. This heated argument played out backstage and online. As all of this drama eventually died down, basically everybody on the internet even forgot about her existence. That was until mid-2023, when Lil Tay unexpectedly resurfaced in the news. Rumors were brought up that she had died. She eventually confirmed that she's alive and still pursuing music, blaming her father for the insane lie and the career-ending rumor. It would be a full 7 years of silence on her YouTube channel, but now she seems to be posting whatever she feels like. It seems she's trying to start fresh online, but unfortunately pulling nowhere near the views that she used to be able to. Everly Rose and the LeBron family. Everly Rose LeBron is the daughter of YouTubers Cole and Savannah LeBron. Their family built a wholesome image doing daily vlogs, dance videos, and family adventures. Everly became a fan favorite on the channel. In fact, by 2021, their wedding vow video, which even included Everly in it, sits at 50 million views. With almost 13 million subscribers and 4.5 billion total channel views, on the surface, the LeBrons looked like the perfect internet family. But behind the scenes, their content strategies were entirely different. The family's controversies showed that even happily family channels can exploit kids for views. Their biggest backlash came in 2021, when they posted a so-called documentary titled "She Got Diagnosed with Cancer." Viewers assumed the title meant one of their own children was ill, only to discover it was about an unrelated family's battle with childhood cancer. Everyone was quick to find out that Everly is cancer-free, and the "she" in the title refers to other families. This bait-and-switch tactic infuriated their fans, with one viewer writing, "The LeBron family should be absolutely cancelled for scaring their young fans." Eventually, Cole would end up apologizing later that week for the misleading clickbait. They also sparked a debate with parenting choices. In 2018, they announced that they were pulling Everly out of school to homeschool her instead. Their reason? They admitted in a video that they wanted a second set of hands at home when the new baby comes, basically stating Everly would help with their younger kids. Every one of their viewers quickly criticized this as treating Everly more like cheap childcare than a kid in school. And it didn't stop there. In 2022, the LeBrons had an even worse issue on their channel by uploading a video on abortion, where they compared statistics to the Holocaust. This sparked massive backlash online, and everyone started to realize how awful this family is. Another instance is in 2024, when the dad would choreograph a father-daughter dance to Diddy's "I'll Be Missing You" right after news broke that Diddy was arrested on trafficking charges. It was confusing in its entirety as to why they would even upload this, but it would go on to permanently harm both Everly and the LeBrons' reputation as a whole. So it comes to no surprise that every new video they upload gets heavily dislike bombed by their viewers, with each comment asking justice for Everly and their children. Claire Crosby. Claire Crosby was a different kind of kids YouTuber. Born in 2012, she instantly had extremely impressive singing talent as a toddler. By the end of 2015, her father Dave uploaded Claire at only 3 years old performing Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. The video went viral, amassing over 13 million views, in which this instant popularity would change the family's life forever. There were reports that Dave left a steady Amazon career as Claire grew into a mini celebrity with more than 1 million subscribers on YouTube and 2 million followers on Facebook. By age 4, she appeared on Ellen twice and even acted in a movie. Every story at the time portrayed Claire as an adorable musical wonder kid with a loving, supportive family around her. But what about controversy? On paper, Claire's story is noticeably calmer compared to the others here. Her parents insist that the whole thing just grew organically. Claire's mother Ashley told reporters that posting the initial song video was just for family and friends, and never their plan to do a channel with her. In other words, they didn't set out to exploit her, but instead it happened by surprise. And unlike the other families previously, the Crosbys never made headlines for abuse or scandal. They would even go on to co-found a tech company with the money earned from Claire's fame. Still, Claire's case hints at the fine line of child stardom. By age 5, she had over 1 million subscribers and tens of millions of views, all on videos of a preschooler belting Disney songs. Even if the content was wholesome, some people online have since questioned whether this kind of fame overshadows a real childhood, as multiple compilations have popped up titled Claire Crosby Exploited, as well as there being evidence that fans are debating how this family managed her career. Claire herself has not publicly complained, and as of today, she still performs covers on the Crosby's channel, such as Gratitude, only posted 4 weeks ago, as well as performing in charity events. Her family vlog mostly shows everyday life, little to no clickbait and no pranks, and no known investigations have ever been filed. In other words, Claire seems to have dodged the worst. The Crosbys remain active and, at least publicly, are drama-free. Claire is now 12 years old, presumably balancing school with her music hobby. Unlike the previous cases, there are no public scandals to report. In a list of failed child stars, Claire stands out as the only one who turned out essentially unscathed. Chad Frankie and his 5 siblings. Chad Frankie was a part of a YouTube family channel named 8 Passengers. Originally, they were a beloved family of 8, which posted wholesome videos of their kids growing up. By their peak in 2020, they amassed over 2 million subscribers and 1 billion views. But this is where things took a drastic turn for the worst. People online began noticing that the mother Ruby had an unusually harsh way of her kids. For example, Chad once played an innocent prank on one of his brothers. Ruby didn't like this, so she ended up banning him from his bedroom for 7 months, forcing him to sleep on a beanbag.
Sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, I mean, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase.
In another instance, she was making her 6-year-old daughter make her own lunch for school. And if she wasn't capable of doing so, she would have to go for the day.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be agree.
Things only got worse and worse after videos online started circulating how physically poor she treats her family off camera as well. For not doing his chores at home, one of the boys' heads was held underwater for an extended period of time, and one of the girls was forced to repeatedly jump on a cactus. In 2022, Ruby broke up with her husband Kevin and instead partnered with a therapist named Jody. They created the Connections program, which promoted even more extreme parenting techniques. However, in 2023 is where everything finally came to an end. Police arrested Ruby in August 2023 after her 12-year-old son appeared at a neighbor's house with open wounds and duct tape on his ankles and wrist, showing clear signs of movement. He had been tied down to a chair and managed to escape through a window to escape his home. Emergency services also found another 10-year-old daughter in the house who was also being abused. Both children were immediately taken to a hospital where the boy was treated for severe malnutrition and deep lacerations from being tied up with rope. Both the mother and the therapist were immediately sentenced to prison, and the 8 Passengers YouTube channel was permanently deleted. On December 18, 2023, Ruby pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse and can be sentenced for up to 30 years behind bars. The oldest daughter, Shari, shared an Instagram story of her mother being taken to prison, and another one that read, "We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and are so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead, providing evidence that getting back on track from a completely destroyed childhood is no easy task." Piper Rockell. Piper Rockell was once seen as the perfect example of a Gen Z influencer. She was an energetic, confident child that loved creating videos centered around relationships, as well as uploading challenge content. By 2020, she was creating music for over 50 million people, and it looked like everything was going great for herself and her channel. With over 12 million subscribers, it seemed like Piper was set for the rest of her life. However, that just wasn't the case for much longer. For context, Piper managed a group called the Piper Squad, which had around 15 members at any given time. In 2022, 11 former members of the Piper Squad, some of which were minors at the time, came forward with a lawsuit against her mother and manager, Tiffany Smith. The allegations were for emotional abuse, manipulation, harassment, and forced participation in content that was far too mature for their age. A plaintiff claimed that they were encouraged to behave in sexually suggestive ways on camera.
Were you ever asked to pose provocatively or to wear things you were uncomfortable wearing?
Oh yeah, Tiffany would always tell me to go up into Piper's closet and get something that's more tight and revealing.
This can be seen in thumbnails like this one, where it's portrayed that Piper is pregnant. But in reality, when you click on the video, it's only her mother that is doing the test. Piper herself wasn't named as a perpetrator in the lawsuit, but her brand was inseparable from the people in charge. Her mother's complete control over the content she would post, her image online, and the people Piper surrounded herself with became central to the scandal. In 2024, the case was settled for just shy of $2 million, but the damage was already done. Public perception of Piper quickly changed from YouTube sweetheart to potential victim of child exploitation. Netflix then went on to release a documentary series titled Bad Influence: The Dark Side of Kidfluencing, which only confirmed this drama. The series featured testimonies from former squad members, legal documents of exploitation, and footage showing how manufactured and pressured the content for Piper's channel truly was. Nowadays, Piper's channel rarely sees any activity. It's been a full 6 months since she last posted a video, and when she did, it received only a 25% like to dislike ratio. It's clear that with the comments turned off, her mother is trying to avoid any further criticism as much as she can. It seems as if now she's switched over to the Piper Live channel, where she live streams her day-to-day life exploring her city with many dramatic moments and controversial creators. Micah Stauffer. Micah Stauffer was once upon a time one of YouTube's most polished mum influencers. A clean home, clean kids, and a carefully crafted channel full of perfection. Her family vlogs and parenting tips earned her 700,000 subscribers on her channel The Stauffer Life and a reputation as one of the best mothers on YouTube. But in 2017, she added a new chapter to her life: international adoption. Micah began documenting the process of adopting a child from China, a boy named Huxley who had autism and developmental needs. From the first announcement video on her channel to essentially daily updates after he arrived, Huxley quickly became a beloved child on the channel. Viewers followed his progress through expensive therapies, speech development, and family integration. Micah even received brand deals based on the visibility of the adoption. It had seemed like Micah and her husband were perfect parents to their newest child. In 2018, the Stauffers started posting more about Huxley's medical issues, which included a formal level 3 autism diagnosis and appeared to be actively stepping up his at-home therapy techniques. However, after Micah gave birth to the couple's fourth biological child in 2019, viewers started noticing that Huxley wasn't showing up as much on the Stauffer Life. When people in the comments would ask where Huxley is, they'll notice their comments would instantly be deleted. Then, in May 2020, everything changed. Micah uploaded a now-deleted video titled An Update on Our Family, revealing that she and her husband had rehomed Huxley.
The last couple months have been like the hardest thing I could have ever imagined choosing to do, because ultimately, after pouring our guts and our heart into this little boy.
The term rehome, which is commonly used for pets more than human beings, was an instant red flag. She explained vaguely that his needs were greater than they'd anticipated and that he was now with a better fit. But for millions of people, the message was clear. They gave their child away after building a platform and income around him. Within days of the backlash, 4 of her biggest sponsorships on the channel had completely ditched her, as well as brand reputation experts stating that Micah had become radioactive and unusable in any further commercial. The hashtag #CancelMicahStauffer began going viral all over Twitter, and Micah had disappeared from the internet in its entirety. The Stauffer Life channel was completely deleted, with essentially no post remaining online. While her husband still uploads to the Stauffer Garage YouTube channel with over 1.3 million subscribers, Micah is nowhere to be seen. It's now been over 5 years since her last appearance online, and with the Stauffer Garage channel hitting an ultimate flatline in growth, it's unlikely we will ever hear from her or Huxley ever again. Ryan's World. Ryan's World is one of the biggest kids YouTube channels in history, with nearly 40 million subscribers, billion view videos, and a toy empire worth over $100 million. Ryan began his YouTube career at just 4 years old, unboxing toys like Lightning McQueen and surprise eggs. This was innocent, algorithm-friendly content. His early videos pulled in insane numbers, with some even crossing 1 and 2 billion views each. But as Ryan became a household name, questions started to surface. Why is a toddler creating optimized content, and why are his parents saying it was all his idea? Over the next decade, Ryan's life became YouTube, and in the background, his parents Loanne, who has a criminal history, and his quiet yet controlling father Shin, were building a media empire around him. Ryan was known worldwide by practically every kid anywhere. He was the main character in his own Ryan's World movie, and was on track to never have to work a day in his life again. But in recent years, things have changed. Views are drastically declining, from billions and hundreds of millions to sometimes not even pulling in 100,000. And with one quick look at his channel, it's obvious as to why. Ryan, who is now a teenager, still creates content that is made for toddlers. He is seen wearing superhero costumes and forcing his smile while playing games clearly made for kids. A TikTok clip mocking Ryan's superhero school video went viral with 40 million views. Multiple comments read, "Let bro retire," and he is counting how many videos he has done. The internet was no longer laughing with Ryan, but instead laughing at him. Then in August 2024, Ryan and his parents would be interviewed by a YouTuber, John Yushai. This was an attempt at redemption, which heavily backfired. Ryan barely spoke a word, while his father answered practically everything. The comments said it best: "I interviewed Ryan's parents." It comes to no surprise that Ryan's parents are controlling his life, as no teenager would willingly want to create this content anymore. His parents are focusing on the financial side of his channel while not worrying about his mental health. The only question that remains is how much longer will this all go on for? Jessie Slaughter. Jessie Slaughter has a rather interesting rise on YouTube, as she wasn't exactly trying to become famous. But in 2010, at just 11 years old, she became the face of one of the internet's first viral cancellations. What started as an average teenage rant spiraled into one of the most disturbing harassment campaigns in early YouTube history. Back then, the internet was still figuring itself out. YouTube was only 5 years old, Twitter had just started trending, and viral videos were mostly harmless jokes and memes. But then came one of the first viral meltdowns that would take a very dark turn. Jessie Slaughter was the online username of Damian Leonhardt, an 11-year-old kid from America who posted videos to YouTube and MySpace. Back then, she was loud and fully immersed in what was called the scene kid community, a subculture built around heavy eyeliner, neon colors, and emo music. One of the most popular creators in that world was Davey Vanity, the lead character of a controversial electronic band called Blood on the Dance Floor. He had a massive teen fanbase at the time, but also a very disturbing secret. Rumors started going public that Jessie, at just 11 years old, had an inappropriate relationship with Davey, who was in his mid-20s at the time. This was talked about further on Rapzilla's interview, where she would state this:
the party, and so like I was cleaning up in the bathroom and he was also in there cleaning up and helping me clean up and helping other girls, and so me and him just kind of like stayed behind talking for a little while, and it ended up moving into like stuff, and then like him like asking me if like I had ever done stuff, and then yeah, like I ended up giving him a job in that bathroom.
In response, Jessie uploaded a now infamous video aggressively denying the rumors. She would swear at the camera and have her dad threaten to arrest people online because of what happened.
Okay, you guys, this is Jessie Slaughter, and I just wanted to say that you guys have ruined my life.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is from her father. You bunch of lying, no good punks. And I know who it's coming from because I've back traced it. And I know who's emailing and who's doing it. And you've been reported to the cyber police and the state police. So you better write one more thing or screw with my computer again. You'll be arrested. End of conversation from her father.
It was raw, chaotic, and instantly went viral. But what came next wasn't just internet fame. It was a full-blown cyberbullying storm. Jessie's real name, address, and phone number were leaked. She even received multiple threats from countless people online. Her father uploaded a response video angrily threatening trolls, which only made things worse. And soon, Jessie Slaughter went from a random kid online to the internet's favorite punching bag. What nobody realized at the time was this wasn't just a bratty kid acting out, because in the years that followed, Jessie came forward with confirmation that she had been sexually assaulted by Davey, alongside 20 other victims coming forward at the same time. Once all of this information became publicly known to everyone online, the trolls immediately felt horrible for what they had done to Jessie. But seeing as every part of her online presence was deleted at the time, they had no way of communicating with her ever again. Gavin Magnus. Gavin Magnus is a name you've probably seen pop up if you've ever been in the world of kid YouTube stars or teenager music. Starting his channel at just 7 years old, Gavin quickly became a multi-talented creator. He was able to sing, act, and make challenge videos aimed primarily at a young audience. At first glance, it seemed like the dream. A kid with a camera, enthusiastic personality, and a growing fan base. He's most notably known for his cover of Señorita, which sits at over 70 million views to this day. But by the time Gavin was slowly turning into a teenager, his channel shifted heavily towards what you might call manufactured drama. Videos centered around fake dating storylines and staged breakups, which were all designed to keep viewers hooked and boost up his engagement numbers. The problem? Gavin, who was still a kid, was tasked with acting out complicated relationship scenarios that were far beyond his years. Making this type of content at such a young age can not just be confusing, but emotionally wrong for a child. People in the comments began to wonder if Gavin really enjoyed this, or if he just went through the motions for the camera. Nowadays, it's impossible to tell, as every old controversial video has its comments completely disabled. Behind the scenes, rumors piled up about the intense control that Gavin's management and family had over his career. There was the pressure to constantly produce content and keep up with his kid audience. As Gavin entered his teenage years, more and more cracks in his content started to show. The enthusiasm that once lit up his videos suddenly seemed forced. Some people speculated that Gavin was missing out on a normal childhood, which was later confirmed in his saying goodbye video. However, he also goes on to mention why he hasn't been the same lately.
This past year, we found out that my grandpa, he's been battling cancer. But after finding this out, things haven't been the same up here. You know, when you lose a relative especially, or when you know the loss of someone is near and coming soon, it messes with you. You know, you wake up and that's the first thing you think about.
He told everyone that his content will be changing.
And what I want you guys to take away from this is I'm not leaving, but things are changing. And I think it's for the better. You know, I'm gonna be doing content that I enjoy and content that makes me happy, and I hope you guys will be able to see that and feel that through the videos that you watch and like it just as much as me. Don't worry, I'm still gonna be uploading every Saturday and Sunday, but just different videos, different style of videos.
Although he hasn't posted all too much since the situation has calmed down. Austin Jones. Austin Jones built his entire brand around being the wholesome music kid on YouTube, mainly known for his a cappella covers of songs such as Blurry Face by 21 Pilots or Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. These videos performed extremely well, with multiple surpassing 5 million views each. He was exactly the type of creator that parents didn't mind their kids watching. He smiled a lot and sang perfect style harmonies to a fanbase made up of almost entirely the younger generation, which is no surprise that at his peak he garnered almost 550,000 subscribers. For a while, it seemed like nothing could go wrong, but in 2017, everything instantly came crashing down. Austin Jones was arrested on multiple counts of producing child pornography, after FBI investigations revealed that he had been coercing underage fans into sending explicit videos. Austin had allegedly manipulated girls by asking them to prove that they were his biggest fans. He would do this through disturbing challenges, some of which were filmed on camera. Even before his arrest, Austin had come under fire for his interactions with younger fans. In June 2015, he posted a 16-minute YouTube video in which he looked directly into the camera and admitted that he used to ask fans to send him videos.
I used to ask fans for videos. Yes, the dance move. It's not something that I'm proud of. It's not something that I think is right. And I shouldn't have done it.
Nothing ever went further than videos, he said. There were never any physical contact. Both his channel and Facebook account were deleted, and the entirety of YouTube now passionately hated him. In 2019, he pled guilty to 1 count and was sentenced to 10 years in prison, where he'll be released at the end of 2027. Somehow his account managed to get recovered with a profile picture that isn't even the default image, although his account has sat inactive for over 8 years. Annabelle and Victoria from Toy Freaks. Toy Freaks was one of YouTube's fastest growing kids channels back in late 2016. Run by Gregory Chisholm, the channel featured his 2 younger daughters, Annabelle and Victoria, acting out exaggerated skits and gross humor. But unlike other kids content creators, Toy Freaks quickly crossed the line into something far more disturbing. In video after video, the girls were filmed crying, screaming, or in physical discomfort, with their father often egging them on from behind the camera. They were forced to eat disgusting food, pretend to be babies, or react to being hurt in increasingly upsetting situations. The father was often seen wearing pacifiers in videos and acting as a kid himself, which was just uncomfortable for everyone to watch. In fact, some of the content made by the father and the kids was so gross that re-uploads of the videos have to put a warning at the beginning stating, "This video contains content that may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised." All of it was branded as comedy, but it was obvious to everybody online that it was nothing more than exploitation for money. Toy Freaks eventually got named as Toddler disguised as skits, and it wasn't long before child protection advocates and eventually YouTube stepped in. By 2017, YouTube abruptly terminated the channel, citing violations of child endangerment policies. By that point, Toy Freaks had over 8 million subscribers, and its removal became one of the most high-profile takedowns at the time. After the channel's deletion, Gregory claimed the videos were scripted and that the kids were acting, but the emotional distress on their faces told a completely different story. Authorities launched an investigation, though no criminal charges were ever confirmed. As for Annabelle and Victoria, they completely vanished from the internet. No new public appearances and no updates whatsoever. Whether by choice or court order, they've gone totally silent. And given how millions watch them suffer online, that might just be the best case scenario. Karina Kazawa. At one point in time, Karina Kazawa was one of the most recognizable kid creators on the platform. As the sis in Sis vs Bro, she helped build one of the most successful sibling-run channels of the late 2010s, pulling in hundreds of millions of views with their challenge videos. Alongside her younger brother Ronald, Karina lived the kind of life that most kids could only dream of. Filming viral content and turning everyday childhood moments into money-making machines. But the fame came with a catch. The channel's success was built entirely on their youth. As Karina got older, the once wholesome dynamic began to shift. Fans noticed that she seemed less interested and her energy started to change in videos. In March of 2021, the Sis vs Bro uploads stopped almost entirely after the channel would upload Karina's master bedroom tour. Suddenly, one of the most popular kids channels on YouTube had gone silent. Karina didn't disappear completely. She actually tried to transition into her own content, rebranding herself through her solo gaming channel, Gamer Girl, which had also once been massively popular. She streamed games like Minecraft and Roblox, but her fans, which were now a mix of aging childhood fans and confused new viewers, weren't as engaged. Views dropped from numbers like 70 million to as little as 300,000 in a single year, and uploads became increasingly sparse. Eventually, even her solo channel fell into inactivity. The Karina Kazawa channel didn't perform much better either, as she's seeing clearly much more grown up than she appeared on Sis vs Bro. And then a leaked clip from a livestream she did started going viral, stating how she's not as close to Ronald as she used to be.
Why are you saying show Ronald? Like, I am a different person from Ronald's. I have my own identity. My life isn't completely intertwined with Ronald's. I don't know what Ronald's probably sleeping. He's doing his own thing. Why? I don't know, okay? We're not twins or something.
Whereas she only posts on TikTok now to a completely different audience. However, it would be wrong to talk about Karina without discussing Ronald as well. Outside of Sis vs Bro, Ronald also had his own solo channel, Ronald OMG, where he gained over 4 million subscribers in the gaming niche, mainly focusing on Hello Neighbor at its peak. At just 8 or 9 years old, he was pulling more views than most adult creators could even dream of. While Karina transitioned slowly into her own lane, Ronald's disappearance was abrupt. His solo channel stopped uploading entirely at the end of 2021, and he went completely dark across social media. No official statement was made, which only added to the mystery. Some people speculated burnout, as after all, Ronald had been filming videos for majority of his life. As he posted the kind of high-energy content that works when you're 10, it doesn't always translate well when you're a teenager. There were also theories that the pressure of fame at such a young age took a toll on him mentally, prompting a sudden disappearance online. On the Sis vs Bro channel, the banner reads Sis vs Bro 2.0, April 18th, 2024. On this date, they uploaded a comeback video which did go on to receive almost 5 million views. They also mentioned that they now have a younger sister named Aria, however, she didn't go on to feature on the channel all too often. Sis vs Bro did post multiple videos after their return, but much less frequently than before. Whenever there's a solo video uploaded, it usually focuses on Karina, with Ronald only appearing every now and then. Ronald still occasionally posts to his own channel, with a variety of gaming and gym videos, but at this point in time, the channel has pretty much flatlined. Claire Rocksmith. Claire Rocksmith's internet fame started as part of the Piper Squad, a high-drama group of child influencers that focused around Piper Rockall, who I've covered in a previous video. Their content, which included both elaborate challenges and heavily scripted relationships, was designed to dominate YouTube's preteen demographic. Claire quickly became one of the most recognizable and likable faces in the group. She racked up multiple millions of views on her own videos and a rapidly growing fan base of over 900,000 subscribers. Things took a bit of a turn in 2022 when Claire abruptly left the group with no real explanation. Eventually, it came out that multiple ex-members, including Claire, had serious complaints about the environment they were forced into by Piper's mother, Tiffany Smith. Allegations of emotional manipulation, unsafe filming conditions, and even labor exploitation were going through the group, all in an attempt to simply get more views. Claire tried launching her own vlogs, she tried to make music, and even making short films. But without the initial boost of the Piper Squad, her engagement was never able to recover. Fans either moved on or remained loyal to Piper, leading to a toxic wave of backlash and internet hate. On April 9, 2025, Netflix posted a documentary titled Bad Influence: The Dark Side of Kidfluencing. This played a huge role in exposing the emotional and psychological abuse reportedly experienced by kids in the Piper Squad, and this heavily helped Claire make a decision to speak out publicly. Afterwards on Instagram, she posted a video with the caption reading, "Thank you guys so much for everything over the past couple of days. After years of being silenced, constantly degraded, and hated on, the amount of support has been absolutely overwhelming. I am so grateful for all of you guys. I love you all so much." However, it's now been over 3 years since she's last been present on YouTube. EvanTube. EvanTube was another creator in the child YouTuber wave. Starting in 2011, Evan, alongside his family, created toy reviews and challenges that quickly got themselves millions of younger fans. His channel, EvanTube HD, became a trusted source for parents and kids, which was a wholesome alternative to the chaos of other channels. At his peak, EvanTube amassed over 7 million subscribers, turning Evan into a household name. The family-friendly vibe and genuine interest in the videos that he was producing made the channel a YouTube staple for years. Some of his biggest hits include tasting the world's largest gummy worm with 145 million views and the real vs squishy food challenge. However, as Evan grew older, the channel faced a difficult challenge. Kids' taste evolved rapidly, and the explosion of short-form content on other platforms like TikTok made his slow and deliberate toy reviews seem less engaging. Moreover, Evan's transition from young child to teenager on camera was awkward. Therefore, many long-time viewers drifted away as he got older. While EvanTube never faced major public scandals or controversies, the channel struggled with relevance in a rapidly changing environment. Attempts to pivot into gaming and vlogging all failed, and the channel looked like it hit a standstill. Videos such as growing up as a child YouTuber got posted where he explains how often he got recognized and he just wanted to take a break from content creation entirely. Evan is now 19 years old and explained how he's been focusing on college and his life outside of YouTube. Therefore, the upload schedule has slowed drastically, while the channel's growth has completely stopped altogether.